So for those that are unfamiliar with her cross divinations, this is a simplified way of doing one, a different perspective. So these two cards here are your center. They're your anchor. They're the internal, what it's about. These two cards here are the actions that go with that. These actually go into the center, but I put them off to the side so you could actually see them. This is what the reading is about, like its core energy. And so I'm just going to share my morning reading with you. So in the anchor part, it's reaping the harvest. It's that aspect of both of these are endings of a journey. So this is reaping everything. And I drew some Lenormand for each of these two cards to give a little more depth to that. So reaping the harvest of all the cycles, the messages, the things I have received and understood and have walked through. So that's in the reaping. This down here, we're talking about the wisdom and wealth that is accumulated from the end of a journey. And over here, it's, bringing peace with the mother. And in this Lenormand deck, this does depict the Divine Mother, Santa Muerte. And so it's everything that I've reaped, and then all the wisdom and wealth that has brought me, cycles and messages, the things I have received, the things that I have experienced with her, and then bringing this peace and this unity with the Divine Mother. In the center, again, this is the 2, but it's pence. So that means we're talking, living. So living in reflection of the mother, living in partnership with the mother, living in companionship with the mother. The action portion of this is everything I've gone through, everything I've experienced, my journey, and sharing that with others. There are so many teachers out there that teach from a perspective of the Western kind of concept of teaching, telling you and having you follow their way, their experience, their work that they have completed. When I talk about teaching, I'm talking about more guiding. I give frameworks and tools, and then I walk beside people while they develop their own, while they figure out what their connections are, while they figure out how this works for them, because we're all different, and our relationship with the Divine Mother is all going to be very different, because we have different things we need to heal within ourselves. We have different skills and things that, we are personally connected with, and we have different paths. We have different places and goals that we're going to. And so if we're only teaching to the fact of, having somebody follow ours, then we're only doing a disservice to them, because they're never following their own path. They're never ever discovering what that is for them and being in their authentic self and finding out what their power is, where their direction is, and what their possibilities are. Again, this is just an example of my reading, but a way that you could do it. So, your center core, here it's talking about, all the things that I have experienced. This is what I'm sharing in my action, is on the experience, the wisdom, the wealth that I have gained through my own personal experience. And then guiding people not from an aspect of, you must follow mine, this is the way that it's done. No, this is the way that mine is done. This is, in my action, I am showing you my practice, my connection, the tools and the frameworks that help me. And the people are going to decide for themselves what works, what doesn't. They're going to try things out. They're going to do different things as they experiment with it and figuring out what works for them. And again, it's all back to how we live in that partnership, in that connection with her. in that reflection of her, us being a reflection of her in our lives and in our living. So again, simple way to view, her cross divination. This is your anchor. These are your actions. And then your center cards, which technically should be like up here, but I wanted you to be able to see the cards. This is what it's surrounding. It's talking about how to live in partnership with the mother, how to live in reflection of the mother. And you can always do some extra cards, whether I like Lenormand because it is very much language based. We're talking sentences, building a sentence with these, versus tarot, which is a lot larger ideas. I know a couple of people that are trying with Oracle. I'm excited to see what they do with that. I think it really just kind of depends on the Oracle deck. But either way, I mean, you can create sentences and do the same thing that Lenormand does with tarot. You just have to be a little creative and kind of figure out what that looks like with your deck for you. But you could draw some extra cards just to give you some deeper insight on a card. And like I said, my two Lenormand, they were for the anchor cards. I wanted one for this anchor card and one for this anchor card, just to kind of give some more depth. What are we talking about with the reaping? What am I harvesting? What is the harvest? What part of the wisdom aspect are we really diving into? Because again, both of those were ending cards. And so the wealth and wisdom, it's all about the peace and the beauty and that movement with the Divine Mother. In my Reap and Harvest, it's talking about all the things that I have learned, experience, messages, the patterns and cycles that she has shown me that I have gone through and have experienced. This is all about the personal experience. All right. Have a great day.